Quick question. Outside of the Switch version of Super Mario 3D Land, World, has anyone actually even beaten the original Wii U version without the Bowser's furry enhancement? Aside of people with families and friends and all that good crappy stuff, that game sure feels pretty fucking sad when you're playing solo. Especially when you know you're not saving Peach this time, like the cuckold you are, but some little fairies and the fact that Peach is a playable character in the game. And overall, the game is intended for a 4-character gameplay experience. It just never felt good playing alone, you know? Which is why I have yet to beat it till this day. Even though there is a Switch version out now, it just doesn't really feel the same or feel like I really should get into it, even though I really want to. So Demon Turf, which would explain the video's title, and since I brought up 3D World, this little indie game I've been wanting to make a video for a while now. But now I've decided to make a video about it since I'm trying to push myself more to making more videos this year and just overall have an actual consistent schedule and stuff like that. So I'm not just popping out videos here and there over month and month long gaps in between, and instead have it at shorter periods where I can feel more expressive and overall just uploading what I want. But yeah, Demon Turf, a game that gives me a weird hybrid of Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury and a little bit of Sly Cooper here and there, but mostly the Mario game. Currently, I have about 6 hours into the game, so no major spoilers here. And if I'm being honest, I just needed 1 to 2 hours with this particular game that makes me want to really recommend it to anyone, really. And I even took 16 minutes on the tutorial level. Hey, don't judge me. Genshin Impact is a literal crack addiction that I have, and I can't stop playing while they keep growing and they keep nerfing. But what does my dumbass do? I keep freaking playing as if I don't have anything else to play. Please send help, please. They have a little taller demon. So before I get into the game and what it has to offer, I want to mention the main menu layouts and show some appreciation to the flair it has. The different tabs have their own transitions to the other options, the DJ disc scratching when navigating the menu, the amount of settings that at first glance look pretty overwhelming, if I'm going to be completely honest, but for the most part, you really don't have much to change until you actually start through the game or progress further into it. It's all a matter of preference, really, and depending on what kind of a gamer you are, or I should just say platforming gaming compadre, you should know where you're going to be at when it comes down to navigating those sort of gameplay settings and controls. Me personally, I just love when video games have this menu uniqueness to it that I've come to realize that games nowadays are really starting to do more of, or at least in the indie scene. I can't remember exactly which ones that are doing it, but I feel like it's definitely around the indie scene. Each particular settings have its own description for each option if you need a full explanation for what an option does. And even in the in-game pause menu of the same settings tab adds more to it. I can definitely agree with Midgi here. I love seeing a lot of settings options in my video games as well. PC all the way. PC Master Race. Thank you, Gabe. We love you. And hey, for all you streamers out there, or anyone that wants their self-insert name inside the game overall, you have a place for that. I didn't do it, but I won't judge you for it. I will say this though, there is an option to adjust Beebz chatter, and looking at this option, you might think she's gonna be like how Bubsy was.
What could possibly go wrong?
And I can confirm, she is far from it. You will enjoy every second of this small, smug, gullible ball of anger you take control of. So before starting a new game, the last choice we get is manual and auto cam control, which you can change on the fly. I chose manual, but your choice may vary. And frankly, the fact that you can change it on the fly really does add more to the whole accessibility for anyone who's newcomers or experienced players alike. Starting into a new game, the main character Beebz falls into the tutorial level, which is a dream segment that sums up the plot of the game in a short, brief, taunting conversation.
Would you look at that? Didn't expect such a little demon to walk into my dreams.
Oh yeah? Well, I didn't expect to see a chump like you while sleeping either, but here we are.
You got spunk, kid. I'll give you that.
I got more than that coming your way, dingus. It's time for my butt to sit on your throne.
Sure.
Just like that, that's the premise. Beebz declares to kick the Demon Lord's butt, and so after taking 16 minutes to beat the tutorial stage, I repeat, do not judge me, please. I am being held at gunpoint by this damn toddler baby thingy. We get accustomed to the controls a bit, a few nods to how older games did platforming with the shadow circle underneath the player, along with the signpost telling you about it as a helping hand. And just seeing that reminded me of the early days when I would play Rayman 2. No 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 Rayman 2. Yeah, that's the one that I played as a kid. Another early detail I loved is the outline you get when the camera is blocked from the character's view. As you can see here, the one eye Beebz apron or whatever it is around her shirt also shares the expression that she has depending on whatever mood she's in. So while I was playing the game, it definitely gave me some Sonic Roboblast 2 fan game vibes. 2D sprites without 2D gripes. Whatever that means. I do hope they can follow in that game's path if that was kind of like one of their inspirations, that eventually add 3D character models into the game later if they add any more updates to the game. But for the most part, the sprite work stays consistent, especially with the camera, which I think had to be the hardest to make work fluidly. I don't really know how these things work. I don't make video games, I just play them. The game also comes with a photo mode that is cool and expressive, but I wish it lets you use a free cam for moments you want to take cam shots when Beebz is sitting, chilling, viewing the distance, but for now, it's just first person and a selfie viewpoint. Also, I know this is out of the blue, but since Paper Mario 64 was added into the crappy Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, the Demon Lord looks just like Monstar, which I find really neat if he is inspired by that somewhat.
The demon world is inhabited by all kinds of nasties. It's separated into turfs and their gang leaders. But none stand a chance to the Demon King himself. I say it's time to kick his sorry butt out of here!
Now that is why it's called Demon Turf. I do gotta say, I wish my loading was crap so I could see the characters on the loading screen walk by, because for the most part, I would only see Beebz and, if I'm lucky, Midgey, and then on to the next transition. And it's just like, I feel like there's more flair into the loading screen, but you know, nowadays, games aren't too locked behind crappy loading screens to have like actual neat little mini games or little mini clips and mini shows and stuff like that. Almost like playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and then you can just use Yamcha's Spirit Ball to hit him, make Vegeta do push-ups, make Goku eat a whole bunch of plates of food, and all that good little touch details here and there. So Beebz is wide awake now with the introduction of Midgey, and as you can see by his character design and even his voice, he does resemble Bentley. At least for me he does, as well as him having all the intel to help Beebz and what she needs to do to defeat the Demon Lord, and at a weird but comedic convenience. So after getting the laydown from our good friend here, we are free to roam around Forktown. Forktown being in the main hub vibes really well here. Music's good, the environment's good, the layout works. It feels like a very neutral area compared to the other turfs that you'll eventually venture out into. And this was the main reason as to why I had my Sly Cooper similarities. A few stores, side quests, sluts, gladiators, resistance, customizations, pets, challenges, arcade games, mod shops, and a couple hidden memes and references to what shit posters might be familiar with here and there. Also soccer golf, but that's something you won't be able to touch until later into the game, so no worries there early on. It kind of sucks that there isn't voice acting outside of cutscenes, but at least when they do speak, it's pretty good and above decent, to be honest. They match up with the game's aesthetics, the characters themselves, as well as the music. And I gotta say, the music is goddamn good, and no matter how many times it loops, I can still find myself humming to the beats and tones. And the music detail that I definitely love is when you're in a building, the music will play, but like it'll have like bass boosted so it simulates as if you're hearing music from the outside or something like that. You know, like similar to how you can be walking down the street, somebody's really playing loud as fuck music, but they're inside of a car where you can clearly hear what the music is. Yeah, something like that. Like it really vibes well with me. So after spending my 10 minutes roaming around the hub area, wrong hub, but yeah, Lucy, a suspicious worker for the Demon Lord, but a friend nonetheless, is introduced, and Beebz once again hits it in that she's definitely gonna do what she plans to do, but I'm guessing Lucy has heard it enough times to care less, and frankly this alone just kind of like screams the personality of not only the character you play as, but the characters associated with her. So here we enter our first turf and enter tutorial stage 2.0. And as we enter it, it has that Super Mario Sunshine level showcase camera panning around the whole stage. I don't actually know what to call it. I would just kind of consider it like a stage intro, but other than that, the stage isn't really a tutorial, but since you have to clear one level before going into the actual turf's hub area, it feels pretty good as a starter to understanding what you're going to be doing for the rest of the stages, as well as knowing what objects do what as a starter. But then again, the game doesn't really punish you for dying, so I guess even then it wouldn't kind of matter. You would eventually learn on your own. But since it still includes help signpost, it's probably safe to say it's this way just to have one more helping hand if needed for the newcomers. Platforming and getting a feel of what flag management, since we, the player, have full control of where we set the checkpoints in the game. And frankly, the 3 they give you is more than enough, and the overall self-checkpoint setter is pretty cool as an idea in the first I've seen it, and I found myself most of the times going to the end goal, set a checkpoint, then teleport all the way back to the first one and collect all the collectible cakes. Cakes that you'll need if you want to add mods for Beebz to equip, or if you just suck at the game, you can use cakes to skip levels at the resistance shop. But you know, I'm not throwing shade at anyone. In later levels, you might get Midgi suggesting you to place checkpoints in certain spots for those newcomers, or just for those who aren't really sure when to set up a checkpoint. Not gonna lie, when I first beat the first stage, like the actual first stage, the one that I call Tutorial 2.0, it did feel good when Midgi did the whole Zelda jingle. It actually felt rewarding, really good and accomplishing, and that was only like the very first stage, so yeah, go figure. So as I was going to a tower level in the first turf hub area, I realized the game had hidden moves like the side taco flip from Mario 64, and clearly I found it accidentally, but then I thought to pay more attention to the sprites, and sure enough, there's a triple jump in here. I love this. Finding out new moves that weren't mentioned feels awesome. Like a self-achievement. And not only that, but you could still utilize the second jump or the spin jump dash, giving you more of an advantage at platforming. At first it was hard to notice because of the whole 2D sprites in the 3D setting, but it is there, and I have let you all know. Now you shall use it. Hopefully you all will use it wisely. Now I gotta be honest here, taking notes of the gameplay I recorded made me want to say screw this crap, I want to continue playing, but I know I had to get this out there or the video would take a lot longer to get out, and I didn't want to make a full review video of this, but more like a PSA to let everyone know to play this game if you can. It is truly fun and enjoyable, and I cannot stress this enough how good this game is. Though there's no voice acting outside of certain scenes, the world does at least feel somewhat lived in, even with NPCs with their scripted movements or still movements, and even the same dialogue lines they'll say. The game did a good job adding personality to the world, like why is this weird kid shy and seems like he's spying on us, as well as him also having voice acting. Maybe that'll come up later. Why is this poet lady looking off in the distance, being deep and poetic? Why is this pig vibing in the cave alone? I can't stress this enough. I honestly love this game, man. Also, the pigs and snails are at war or something, and they just look like they're having a Dave and Buster's game shootout while some snail and pig people are laying dead between the two turfs, which is a really, really morbidly dark way of saying war never changes. I, for one, can say that the world of Demon Turf is vast and fascinating for a level-by-level based video game, and I have to give some good kudos to the developers that created this game and the worlds that we run through, especially when it comes down to swimming levels. The swimming levels are pretty goddamn enjoyable. I can at least tell you that. You can swim in this game, and it's pretty damn enjoyable, which seems like a taboo when it comes down to video games and stuff. I mean, even the death quotes are hilarious. Especially when you know you messed up really badly, and even Beebz will say something like, with a ghost of her having that disappointed expression, unlike the teleport ghost of her that has a smug tactical smirk, as well as the selfie cams that scream personality. And another thing to note along with that is the fact that if you call up Midgi for a picture, he's actually there with you. Like right now he's down there, and then the moment you call him, he's next to you, and he actually disappears just to teleport somehow to you. He's definitely a ride or die homie. Hell, you could punch him and Lucy and they'll actually have something to say about it. Though I did feel bad when I tested that out on Midgi. Poor guy can't catch a break. When it comes down to equipping mods, the shop that you can get them from lets you at least try out the moves in a little playtest area, which I find really neat and useful. And considering how this game works, I just recommend using the fall slow, spin attack lifts you up, and run faster mod, since the game doesn't have too much of a focus on fighting. The upper hand you really want is the platforming moves the more you get into the game. It would be nice if punching and spin attacks did actual damage to the enemies, but for the most part, all they do here is just stun. But the game works with what you've been given, and I would say go for the platforming instead of the fighting. For a unique indie collectathon game, they really went self-aware by having Beebz mention all the stuff to collect in the pause menu, which did overwhelm me, but in a way that made me want to take on the collection challenge. And since the game not only has trophies to collect based on the speed it takes to beat a level, you never find yourself playing a one and done level unless you know where all three cakes are and can get them and speedrun through the stage first try. But not only that, but when you do take over the turf, the hub for it becomes like a post-apocalyptic area that changes beaten levels while adding 50 items to collect, adding to the grand old replayability. And that's with every turf you take over.
Continue kicking butt, Midgie.
Outside of that, you have photo hunts that should be obvious what you have to do. A Coliseum to go against Russian enemies. A soccer golf game I mentioned earlier, which is the fellow demon, quote unquote. Photo girl wants a pic of both the Coliseum and town view from the sky where the soccer golf game takes place. There's an arcade here that gives you different challenges, mixing both combat and platforming. And then you have some demonic mint lollipop whatever dude just like with a fake smile sticky note stuck to his face giving you different challenges. The game sure has a lot to do, I will say that, and it's not bad. It's pretty damn good, to be honest. But overall, I've been enjoying Demon Turf, and I wanted to broadcast my few says into the game, and since I have yet to found a reason to complain about the game, I can wholeheartedly, fully, 100%, 5-star recommend this to anyone looking for that classic gaming feel. I might have titled this video Demon Mario, but mainly to say if Super Mario 3D Land, World, had this kind of leveling with a solo play in mind, this game would be it, and playing it without others wouldn't feel all that lonesome. But I don't got time for that. I gotta finish this game. Go play this game. Check out the demo if you can, if there are any. I can assure you, you won't be wasting your time with this one. It is more than worth every minute, every second into it. Also, I got a pet rock because how could you not? Just look at him. He has a little butthole. He has a little X butthole, and even he's expressive. Man, this game is golden. Patrick was definitely right. Patrick was definitely right for picking Rocky. Welp. That was a small taste of Demon Turf, an indie platformer that feels refreshing to play while staying new to what it is. Hopefully the game gets a sequel or gets some DLC in the future to add on to it. Who knows? I still need to finish it, and I think I'm going to do that, so I need to end this video. But until next time, as I always say, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Where you may reside, hopefully you are doing good, your friends, family, and close ones to you in your life alike. Thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I hope to see you in the next one. And be easy, my friends. Peace out.
Demon Turf. It's time for a whooping.